Hi again, wrestling fans, and welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. That's the name of this program that we do every week. I was trying to think of something clever to say at the beginning, like award seeking, Emmy after an Emmy. An Emmy would be nice. I'd love to win an Emmy. I don't think it's going to happen, but
I just want to meet a famous like a big time famous person. That's all I want.
Like a movie actor
or some kind of musician that I really like. I don't know. I just
Well, you go hang around Joe Kazana's Tennessee promotion, you'll probably bump into Billy Corgan at some point.
I know, but I don't think I can handle that. Like I am concerned, like just because of my markdom, like in general, what it would be like to be around somebody in the wrestling industry that was a big, like somebody
just
I really
in
liked.
wrestling.
Yeah, I can't imagine going up to somebody whose music I love and is probably my second favorite band of all time. So I don't think I could handle it.
Stephen Hayes, did you find out the date of the tank incident?
And I was wrong about location. It was out of Fort Pickett in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
But it was 6 years ago.
Oh, really? Okay,
so that's very not long ago.
So some guy we were talking about before we went on the air, some guy 6 years ago stole a tank from Fort Pickett and just took it down the highway. So
yeah, 75-mile-an-hour chase. Or 75-mile.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 75-mile chase.
I was like, that thing can book.
No kidding.
Oh, they can. They can.
I do like.
I wish I could. Yeah. Oh. I wish I could find the video with the song overlaid, but
yeah. We wouldn't be able to play it here anyway.
No. Yeah, I know.
I did like getting the tank in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That was always fun.
Yeah. Oh Lord. I just don't play video games like I used to. I mean, I got a PlayStation 4, but I use it for the Blu-ray player. I've got games for it. I just don't play them that much. Maybe once or twice a year. I'll play them on Christmas and anytime family's around, we'll fire it up. I got that Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. You can have up to 6 people play that thing at one time. You want to talk about fun. Classic beat 'em up. It's pixelated. It looks like a 90s video game, but it's brand new. Just came out last year, and it's a ton of fun. So
nice.
They did a great job with that. Don't try playing it by yourself, though, because the computer does not recognize the fact that you don't have more than one player.
Yeah.
And you will get your ass handed to you if you try to play that game alone. Trust me. It's
the best place to be able to play a game like that, I bet, would be Secondhand Heroes right outside of Lynchburg.
It sure would. It sure would. So
getting that plug in early.
Yep.
We'll talk about them later on, but we got a lot going on. We've got and as far as the wrestling world goes, a lot going on. I did not do my homework good this week. I watched Raw, but I forgot to watch SmackDown because I was tired after work on Friday and I had the DVR set. And I went to bed early and forgot to watch it on Saturday morning because I was mesmerized by the Paris Olympics. And my wife took over the TV set and watched the entire opening ceremony a second time.
A second time. I watched it live. I did not watch it the second time.
I watched it live too because I saw that they were going to do a network special Friday night on NBC proper. It was going to be 4 hours. And then I looked at the slot that they had knocked for it on Peacock and I was like, 4.5. So some of this stuff's going to hit the cutting room floor. I want to see, what they need to take out. And there was a rumor going around the internet that they were mocking the Last Supper.
Oh, God.
And let's just go ahead and correct that. It was a tribute to one of the Greek gods. I think a god of either love or feasting.
Dionysus, the god of
Dionysus.
Wine.
The god of what?
Love and wine.
Love and wine. Now that's what kind of Paris and France is kind of known for. So
yeah, and that's where couture started. So the whole thing was couture clothing and things like that, and that's its own thing, and it's just, as I've said today, fake outrage.
Yep. And another cautionary tale of watch out what you are liking and reposting on the internet, because I have learned that there are places, they're like call centers in some of our enemies' countries, where that's all they do is create Twitter burner accounts and fake Facebook accounts and fill it up with hateful far left and far right comments and pictures and stuff that's just not real, just to piss you off. So,
and now you got AI, so they don't even have to work that hard anymore.
No, and it's coming to YouTube now. If you'll notice, and it's been in YouTube for a while, but people will use catchphrases like berries and certain words that will get clickbait. And I mean, I still, we're big YouTubers now. I will still be scrolling through YouTube, just keeping an eye on everything and see stuff and my thumb will be going for it on the phone. And I'm like, oh, nope, that's clickbait, So I'm not above it. I just want,
that's a trap.
Yep. And so just be careful out there, guys. Don't basically just, if you see anything that's political on the internet or anything with like a word like berries or owns or anything like that, it's clickbait. Whatever you're getting ready to click on it's not going to help you have a better day. You know what I mean? No. So stay away from that stuff. And
let's add ratioed in there now too.
It's very easy.
Let's add ratioed in there now too.
Ratioed. Okay. I hadn't run across that one as much in my travels, but
it's very easy now with Google on your phone. All you got to do is save the picture, open up Google and hit the camera button, and you could put the picture in and then it'll come up, especially for these ones where you see like grandma missing. Who is she, half dead on the street and we found her? All you got to do is Google those little people and see that it's come up in Facebook groups all across the country. Like you see that all the time now. Like like, oh, this kid was found wandering in the woods. We need help finding her. But if you Google search it, the image search, you see that it's in every Facebook group all across America.
So let's not let
this. Yeah. No I live in the Appalachian Mountains. I don't worry about kids found in the woods. That's a spirit. That's a demon. Don't touch that.
Is that a skinwalker?
Yep. Don't whistle in the woods. Don't go out there. You're safe.
Don't listen. Don't answer anybody that says your name in the woods.
Yep. If you see something, no, you didn't.
Keep going.
Oh Lord.
Turn around.
We're on the weirdest tangents tonight.
We are. We haven't even mentioned Bob Saget's name.
Give me a minute.
But anyway, we are kind of off the rails already. Did you guys see that Kevin Phoenix was on the power slap?
Yeah.
Yep.
On Rumble. He didn't really do anything. He just kind of walked out and stood there. But kudos to him, man. That's another screen credit he's getting. I don't know if he's going to get credit. I don't know how that works. If it's because power slap's a sport. Or at least they're trying to pretend
it is a TV show. It's a reality-based TV show about a sport.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure how that works, but I know that the first episode was dealing mainly about with the lightweights, and Kevin is a light heavyweight. So that's one of the reasons he would have been heavily featured.
I hope we get to see him in at least one match.
I would love to see him get smacked, but that's just me.
I think a lot of people would, but you might get your chance.
If it don't work out on the TV show, if y'all will pitch in for gas money, I'll just show up, do it, and leave.
I don't think Kevin would like that very much.
Yeah,
of course he ain't gonna like it. He's getting slapped. I don't know. I feel like when I watch Power Slap, I feel kind of guilty. I feel like I enjoy this, but I'm watching people get head trauma for entertainment. And it's not like Jackass, where they're attempting a stunt, usually like, oh, can I skateboard down this excessively long stairway rail? Or, can I ride a bicycle through this hive of honeybees and come out on the other side without getting stung more than 50 times? Yeah, stupid tricks, but still, there was a positive outcome at the end if they made it. Sometimes.
And you saw what happened when Johnny Knoxville got punched in the head by Butterbean.
Yeah, I mean, it was sleepy time, and so yeah, that
and yet you commentated for the AIWF in late 90s, early 2000s, and you're worried about head trauma.
I wasn't then. I was a kid then. I didn't know anything about it back then. That was before Junior Seau and all this other shit happened.
We didn't know. But going into headshots, if you want to, this is kind of a good segue to wrestling. I know you haven't watched Blood and Guts, but I did, the AEW Blood and Guts, and there's controversy around that. Do you want me to wait till you see it?
No. You can go ahead and talk about it off the top, because I'm gonna cut some of the segments short tonight anyway. But talk about it, because I saw the clip. And the clip is not anything that we did not see in the 90s and early 2000s.
No, right. But they're like, it's an unprotected headshot. It's an unprotected headshot. Yeah. And like, okay, first of all, AEW says that they gimmick the chair. Who knows if that's true or not? Who knows?
Probably not.
But the whole match was, this is what I wrote in my notes, because I did take notes. I was like, I'm really enjoying this. This is good. I like this. What's going to happen at the end that's stupid, that's going to ruin it. And so everybody's bitching about that headshot. My concern is the optics of how they ended that match by Darby Allin dousing Jack Perry with Jack Perry with gasoline, and then going to get a Bic lighter and threaten to set him on fire until one of the Jacksons begged him off. Well, I will tell you this, the Jackson, the way they did it looked like, the way he did it to get him to not set him on fire looked really good. But the optics of actually murdering somebody, I don't like in wrestling.
Threatening murder to win a match. Yeah, it's just
I would like to say that I'm against it, but there's a guy over here in chat that I held a broken bottle to his neck to make him tap out during a match. So, but
Well, but the thing is, with
Stephen Hayes is not a hypocrite, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, because I did bring this up because I talked about that we did set people on fire, but we used lighter fluid that would, hurt but not murder somebody.
And again, even like let's say you did puncture somebody's throat with a glass bottle. You could somebody could immediately go put pressure on the wound. You could to a hospital, and you could save him. If you douse somebody in gasoline and set them on fire, that's it.
They're not surviving.
They're not. There's no, even if you do CPR, that motherfucker is he's destroyed for the rest of his life.
And the sad part is, though, I promise you, there's somebody in the crowd that would look at it and go, "Great trick, do it again."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, or the thing, there were two more other spots I was not that into.
Well, Darby's used fire before. Remember, he used a flamethrower.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying.
And that's farm equipment. Yeah. So
I don't know. I didn't like. And then there was another. One of the Acclaimed got out scissors, and then I don't remember who they put it in the mouth of. Do you remember?
No.
Anyway, they took it. Might have been Jack Perry. I don't know. And took the scissors and opened them up and put the blades like right here. And I'm like, I don't like that, because somebody on an indie is going to do it, and then they're going to joker themselves.
Yeah.
And
then I got these scars.
And then the other spot that was dangerous and stupid look is they put a bunch of tacks in one of the Acclaimed's mouths and then did a super kick. But the problem was, like, first of all, you could see him spit them all out. And second, like,
at least he's smart enough to do that.
Yeah. And I just, those three things kind of, but the whole match itself was good. It was one of the better matches that I've seen.
The chair shot, it not near as bad to me as the thumbtack in the mouth, and the Bucks have done that spot so many times. I think it's dumb every time they do it. It just, I want to go on a Cornette rant about it, but He gets more viewers than I know. He gets more viewers than we do, and he's better at it than I am. So I'm not going to gimmick and fringe.
No, I mean, and yeah, I mean, Cornette. I hadn't checked on the Apple things, but like last time I looked, like his podcast, like were one of like number one in sports or something like that. I mean, it's incredible the numbers that they get, but you know, they crank out some good programming, whether you agree with them or not, man. That's entertaining to listen to him and Brian talk. I think in another time they could have been syndicated on the radio nationwide 3 hours a day, like Rush Limbaugh used to be. But you know, I'm glad it wasn't that time because we couldn't hear Jim cuss back in those days, and we can hear and he is a wordsmith.
Yeah, the one thing about that chair shot though, and if any controversy, it was because Corey Graves put out a tweet after it happened and then deleted it, but it was more so of Corey concerned because he had his career cut short due to concussions and any of that, and it wasn't a downing of the company or anything like that. It was just more concern for one of the boys not having their career cut short for doing something stupid.
Well, I thought Corey had a fucked up neck. I thought that's why he had to retire.
It was neck, a whole lot of concussions and whatnot. So,
but he used to do all that crazy shit when he was on the Indies too, right?
Oh yeah. Sterling James Keenan.
Learn from the mistakes that I made.
Right.
But I was telling Ray, as soon as I saw the chair shot, I was kind of, taken aback by it at first, but then a second later, I'm like, oh no, he hit mostly Cage.
Yeah.
I mean, when he swung that chair, I mean, he hit him, but he also caught a lot of Cage with the top of it. So, I mean, I wasn't that wasn't really that big of a deal, but having the guy that's supposed to be the face in the match threatening to murder somebody
over a title shot.
Over a title shot. I'm just like, fellas, this isn't a good look. I'm sorry. This is not. I mean, I know he's supposed to be crazy and all this stuff, but it's just it just takes me out of it when I'm like just when somebody starts threatening to set somebody to douse them in gasoline and set them on fire. I'm sorry, it takes me out of it at that point.
And I had the same reaction when Triple H used to come in with the sledgehammer and hit people like in the stomach and hit, and I'm like, that would murder that person. And so I think there's a
if he swung it like John Henry, but he didn't. I mean, he just used it as a battering ram,
like in the stomach, in the soft part of the stomach. Yeah, I mean, it would hurt, but it wouldn't cause a lot of damage. But but now the hitting in the head, that might be a different.
It's just I know that the way he did it was safe, but when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, being hit with a sledgehammer would be very
sledgehammer to the head, kick it too. What?
Yeah. But the one good God Almighty, you need to look this timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May.
Love it.
My God, this is like, and you weren't here when I said this last time. See, this is 85, 86 fight, feud where when they pulled them apart at Blood and Guts, like it looked just like old wrestling. I mean, just like it. I mean, everything about it is beautifully done.
When you try to kill somebody with a high heel shoe, come on now.
That's wrestling. That's wrestling.
You damn right that is.
And I know you're right because I even heard Cornette praise that angle, lightly. But he doesn't like neither one of them to like the blood on the girls. But if the guys can bleed, the girls can bleed. We got to keep that on an even playing field. If you don't want blood, don't do it. If you don't want blood on one, don't do it. Don't let anybody do it. Right. And so, one thing I was just thinking about though, Kane promised to set himself on fire back in '98 if he didn't beat Stone Cold Steve Austin at King of the Ring. And
did he douse himself with gasoline?
No, but he was wearing a full bodysuit. So even if he would have set himself on fire, they'd have been able to put him out before any serious damage. So
that's right.
No, but yeah, so I was just thinking about that. I was like, I'm looking for historical context. Murder in the ring has actually been done before. During the pandemic, Randy Orton doused Bray Wyatt with some gasoline or something and burned him to death in the middle of the ring. But see,
Eddie Kingston tried to do it to Chris Jericho during one of the Blood and Guts.
Really? But see, so it's like, but it's still, I mean, like I said, I've only started watching recently. It's still, even if people do, it's not a good look. It's not, and especially with the match that was going so well and was doing such awesome stuff. They could have, I mean, they were beating the shit out of him with a kendo stick. Just keep beating the shit out of him with the kendo stick in the chair. Maybe not head shots, but just keep wailing on him like that. Let him, juice his mouth and
do the same thing they did, the same ending. Have the Jackson quit for him. Say, okay, I quit. I quit. Just leave him alone.
You beat him enough. You beat him enough.
Right, but again, to me, that seems like what the face would do. You're turning it around. You're making the good guys look like terrible people, and these guys who are supposed to be the awful, evil owners are the ones being reasonable and saying, okay, you've done enough. Stop hurting my friend.
Yeah, don't murder my friend. Don't murder him.
About it the complete wrong
so what
way.
you're saying is the Young Bucks have bucked themselves into looking sympathetic while being the evil empire.
Right.
Yep. Do you know what?
Surprise.
Do you know what other match that night was the best match of the night? Dr. Baker, DMB.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Baker and Hikura Shida. Man, that was one of the best. They put every man on that show to shame. Because
Britt Baker's good.
I've seen it. So is this Hikura, I think I'm saying her name right. Shida, like great.
Hikura Shida.
Yeah, and like because it was after Jericho wrestled what they call him, the grandpa of. I took notes. Murder Grandpa, Suzuki. He's an older guy.
Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the one that's so broken down he can hardly move now, right?
Well, that was a 10-minute chop fest. They just chopped each other for about 10 minutes. Jericho busted open, but it was not fun to watch.
Just remember him. Just remember the Jericho of 2005 from 2005 to 2010. How wonderful those years was, and what a credit he was to this sport. And but everybody seems. I really hope it doesn't happen to me. I hope I don't go completely fucking crazy as I get older, because like Flair's gone crazy, Jericho's off the deep end. I'm hoping that my wife will just. When I get to that point mentally, she'll be like, "Look, honey, you need to stay home now. Don't. And you had all those good years in wrestling. People have pleasant memories. Stop going. Don't fuck it up."
Come sit in the chair, Matt. The race is on.
Yeah,
but like Jericho could step back and do comment. Like he could manage because he's still got a good mouth. He still knows how to do a good put himself over with his mouth. Just get him out of the ring, or just go do your music and do your cruise. That's going to make all the money you need.
I just saw the poster come out for his cruise.
Hey, what?
I saw a poster has come out for his next cruise. So,
but at this point, it's not about the money for these guys. It's about wanting to still be in the spotlight.
Ego.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Chris Severn about that at the last show, about how the commentary, it scratches that itch just enough, but it's not the same as being in that ring with all eyes on you and being the center of attention for that, 8 to 15, 20 minutes, all eyes on you. There's just nothing like it. It's an addiction. And these
you don't
guys
get to look at me.
Yeah. Flair, Jericho, you're gonna have to drag them kicking and screaming out of the ring.
But it's like that with all the show business. It's not just wrestling. It's not just like doing live plays. Even I mean, why do you think it was so hard for Johnny Carson to leave the Tonight Show? Because he loved walking out up there and hearing those cheers and applause every night, and being able to control the crowd and have them laugh when he wanted, most of the time. Have him laugh when he wanted to, because Johnny bombed from time to time on his monologue. I was just watching the one I've got in the archives last night, where he bombed the monologue, and it was so bad you just wanted it to end. You know, it was just like, but once he got to the desk and I got the show going, man, he was fine. It was just a monologue bombed, and so I get it. You know, people, you know, everybody, all show business. Look at how long actors stay past their welcome. You know.
And then start making like weird, terrible, weird movies. Yeah.
Or just get so bad behaved that they're not welcome on sets by most people anymore. Jim Carrey. And so, did there. But he's the first one that comes to mind. Crispin Glover is another one. I'm trying to think.
Method actors I've read are terrible because they just want to be in their character, and it makes them an a-hole.
All of Will Smith's children have been blacklisted in Hollywood. You won't see them in pictures for quite a while until they get their behavior in line.
They weren't very good actors either.
Well, no, they weren't. But, you know, he had a lot of friends that wanted to do him favors, and they tried. But I heard those kids acted up on set so bad that, like, people were walking up to the directors and the producers like, I don't want to work on this picture anymore. They're driving me crazy. You know, I mean, guys painting and shit. He was making the crew crazy.
This is where I do want to talk about, since we're kind of talking about AEW. There was this guy who jobbed for them. He's called Big Ben Bishop. I don't remember who he wrestled. He's I would say taller than Kevin Nash. He is tall as hell. But anyway, he had he jobbed out, and but I have found him. Huh?
Who do you wrestle?
I don't remember. This was a while back.
This is a while back. It's like she remembers the job.
Yeah, mostly it was this guy, because I saw him. I'm like, oh my god, that guy's big. Oh, I think he wrestled Roderick Strong. And who's short, right? Yeah. So, but he was
Roderick Skinny.
I was like, that guy's so tall. Anyway, I have found him on TikTok, and he is one of the funniest creators, and nobody hardly follows, because but he does some of the.
He's like us. He's a nobody. He's like us.
And so he had this one TikTok where it's like he comes home and he's like, and his wife's like, "Hey, I won the belt this weekend," and she's like, "Okay, yeah, well, the dog needs to be washed, the lawn needs to be mowed," and it's just so funny because
she said, "Yeah, I saw the video, champ. There was 35 people in the crowd."
So he's very like,
the laundry needs to be done.
Speaking of which, I got to send the boss man the last attendance report. I hadn't done it.
And one of the other funny ones, it was like him, like the promoter making envelopes, and like the first one had like $1 in it, and then the next one had a pack of Chick-fil-A sauce, and then one had like Q-tips, and then finally
I worked that show.
Had actual spaghetti pasta with marinara sauce poured into the envelope.
Oh my god!
So
I know a couple of the boys in the back. I'd love to gag gift one of those.
So I mean, his handle on TikTok is Big Trouble BB. Big Trouble BB.
I cannot make my thumbs move fast enough. Hang on, Reagan.
Okay.
Big
Trouble BB.
Big Trouble BD. So
BB like BB gun.
Oh, BB. All right, Big Trouble BB search.
And it's Big Trouble Ben Bishop.
Thinking. Right. Well, she's in there streaming. I'm doing a live webcast.
Well, let me.
Spectrum, I'm not going to blame you for this one. We're kind of stretching you thin tonight. Yeah, something went wrong. Yeah, you ran out of fucking bandwidth. That's what went wrong. But anyway, so this Big Trouble BB. So if you're out there watching television land, and I know TR Superstar is not on TikTok and does not send me messages daily. I don't know who that is, but we had a bot after us on our YouTube channel. I think it was a bot, but I got rid of it. So yay me! I figured something out.
I sent you in text.
Thank you.
But it's he has all these funny. I mean, it's so like self-aware about kind of what it's like to work on the indies, you know, and like it's funny. And if you check it out, please check it. I don't know where he's from, but I hope he's getting some indie bookings because he's got quite the personality.
I live with a blues.
And then that kind of hustle, you can't help but get bookings.
Yeah, no,
I mean, if you're that active on social media, yeah, because most people just don't have the time, man.
Yeah,
that's why like big celebrities and stuff hire staff to work their social media for them because it's time consuming, man. I can't tell you the times my wife has come back here and stuck her head in the room and be like, uploading videos again. Yeah, because I mean, like the YouTube, like Boss Man spends a lot of time on AIWF Network, and I spend a lot of time on this one when we try to get stuff. I don't even publish every day. I just publish during the week. I take the weekends off, and but Boss Man publishes every day, and
yeah, he does. And not only that, like he's not just doing, he's just on doing stuff like with the chats, with the posters, with all that, you know, just constantly.
Yeah,
you know,
putting up pictures of the poster. What does this look like? What do I need to change? Change make these words a different color. You know, word this a little differently. Yeah,
so that's a lot that goes on. Just kind of but just like all the stuff that goes in to a wrestling show. But
is the definition of promoter.
You know, well, and you know, speaking of famous people who, you know, have people help run their social media, got to be careful with those ones who run it and try to make you look like a better person than you actually are. Buff Bagwell.
He's got 2013 followers. That's pretty damn good for an independent wrestler.
Yes.
He's going to have 20,014 right now because I just followed him.
Yes, please check him out. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
and good for him. And like I said, you know, he jobbed on AEW. They said his name right, which was impressive. So
yeah.
Since we're talking about indie wrestlers who are making a name, can we talk about the UK Pitbull Bulk being in Deadpool?
Yes. Did you see that, Matt?
No, I don't do superhero movies anymore.
Okay, so
it's Deadpool.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm aware the movie exists.
Okay, but one half of the UK Pitbulls, I guess, as Ace pointed out, probably still current AIWF UK Hardcore Tag Team Champions. Bulk is playing Blob in the movie.
Oh, so very good.
Yep, and he is also available for bookings for cons in the U.S. Just get in touch with AC Collins.
Oh wow!
That's
okay,
cool.
So we got a local associate that can help with that. We're not going through a booking agency. We got like a real dude we can call.
Yep,
that's very nice. Well, congratulations, man. Good luck, and I hope you get a check in the mail at least once a month for the rest of your life for that movie. And you probably will.
I'm sure you will. It's already made like $200 million. So.
Oh, really? Well, that's great, man. Yeah, I know those superhero movies are big, but I'm just burnt out on them. You have to understand. I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s. So I was Superman movies during the 80s, Batman movies during the 90s. And then I started getting burned out on them. So, and I'm just done, you know.
I agree wholeheartly. Deadpool I don't want to, no spoilers. We went and saw it yesterday. Rekindled my love of a superhero movie. So
it's not the standard. It's not your standard run of the mill superhero movie.
No.
Yeah, but I don't want a bunch of swearing and I don't want a bunch of that in my superhero movies either. You know. Like
but there's blood and guts. Oh, it's so good.
Well,
it's like the kind of superhero I like.
So, I like the blood guts. I'm a Game of Thrones person, and I saw today Rings of Power is going to have their second season coming the end of next month. So looking forward to seeing fucking Sauron turn everything and continue to turn the world into shit. I tell you what, man, I have hated villains in my life, but I think that Megatron with the Decepticons and Sauron in the Hobbit movies are about the two worst pieces of shit that I can, with no redeemable qualities. What's
the Lower Sunbridge Harry Potter?
Oh God, yes. And she gets you on like a real life because you know that fucking person. That person works at your job. That person works and tells you what to do. And that person exists in your life at some point in your life. You come across one of those people who's just evil because she just toes the line.
Yep.
You know.
Well, and let's not leave out Tom Riddle himself in Harry Potter. I mean, he's no, day at the beach either. So I mean, he really had no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
I guess Palpatine. He has no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, he was a piece of shit too. Yeah, just all naming off all of our favorite villains.
Bob in Twin Peaks. But I mean, that's
over my head. Speaking of old TV shows, Bob Newhart passed away recently, and
I saw that.
And if you're my age, Bob Newhart's heyday was a little before your time. And while you were a little kid and didn't get it. But Bob Newhart returned as Professor Proton on The Big Bang Theory, and was on that show for several episodes. And I think a whole new generation got introduced to his dry ass delivery. But I was like, man, I want to look up, because I remember Bob Newhart having a show when I was a kid, but I wasn't interested in it. So I looked it up. It's available on Amazon Prime. As a matter of fact, both his shows are, the one from the 70s and the one from the 80s. And I started watching the one from the 80s. And it's
Daryl, my other brother, Daryl.
Larry. Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl.
I watched that growing up. So.
Yeah. Did you? Oh, okay. I remember it being on, but I wasn't interested in it because I didn't get the comedy. I mean, I was only 6 when the show started, so. But I remember it being on. And, the intro wasn't something that would drag a kid in either. A car driving peacefully through the Vermont countryside didn't have the pop the intro for the Dukes of Hazzard did. It just didn't.
I lived in a holler off the river. So we got 2 channels. Channel 7, channel 3. Channel 7, channel 12, and 48. So
all right. Where were you grew up at?
County. I lived on the Dan River.
You had, all right, now I'm a TV nerd, got to figure this out. Channel 7,
WDVJ.
Oh, so you got Roanoke CBS. Okay.
Yes. And then channel 12 is NBC.
Yeah, that was WXI in Winston.
And 45 was the independent then.
Yeah, they were Winston. Yeah. They were WJTM at one time, then WNRW, and now I can't keep up with what they are now because I don't live in that area.
I thought they were WNRF.
Well, there used to be 2. There used to be 45 and 48.
Yeah, and they merged.
Then they merged, yes.
Yeah. I remember 48, they had a guy on there back in the 80s that did the kid programming called Billy Bob.
Billy Bob, yep.
And
funny.
Here's my Billy Bob story. You could send in like a thing about your favorite cartoon. And so I said my favorite cartoon was Thundercat, and he opened my thing on there, and then you would spin a wheel and you could get a prize, and they spun the wheel, and that's the cartoon they showed. It was a long time. But anyway, I got to go to the studio and get some kind of coupon or gift card or gift certificate from back then.
Were you ever one of the kids selected to be on the cartoon show that he hosted?
No, that would have been amazing. Is he the one that fell and hit his head?
He fell and he hurt his neck.
Yeah, he fell.
There was like a big tire on the set, and he backed up and fell and hurt his neck, and he was lying there. He was like, "Oh, kids, looks like we need to go to commercial break." And like the next time he was on the show, he was wearing a neck brace.
Wow. Yeah. I always wondered why Billy Bob came to an end, because he just abruptly went away at some point.
Well, they replaced him with like a younger guy who wore like overalls and had a hat. I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, he was he was pretty entertaining because he also did like the late night movie.
Yeah,
He hosted that.
Super Scary Saturday did too, didn't it? Where he showed old horror movies on Saturday.
And that's why I'm such a fan of B-rate horror movies, is because I grew up watching the horror movies that were on there. So it's where I found one of my favorite, Night of the Comet, one of the best zombie-esque movies from the 80s.
WGGT, the call letters on that station for all you TV nerds out there. And if we haven't lost any viewers, as we discussed,
we have still have the same amount.
Greensboro television market memories, because they mean jack shit to anybody that didn't grow up in this area. But see, we had all the Carolina channels where I lived at in Virginia too, in Martinsville. We were lucky.
Yeah.
We were right in the middle of 2 television markets. So we got all the Roanoke channels and all the Carolina channels. Now, if you were on an antenna, we had the same problem Reagan did. It depended on what side of the county you lived on as to whether you watched the North Carolina channels or whether you watched the Roanoke channels, because the Roanoke's up in the mountains. So if you didn't have a great old big antenna mounted on the roof with maybe a 50-foot extension, sticking way up in the air, you weren't getting them Roanoke channels. My grandmother only got channel 2 out of Greensboro, and she could get 12 sometimes. And she had, God, man, I bet you that antenna was 40 foot across on top of the house. It was a great old big one, The
only thing I didn't get in Westville was WRAL. That was the only one that I didn't get picked up due to antenna and or cable.
Wow, you almost because you're on top of the mountain, man. All the signals just flowed right up to you, didn't they? And WRAL would have been in Raleigh. That would have been amazing if you could pick it up at that distance.
No, I really wish I could have, just for the Crockett factor alone.
Well, you just got another version of Worldwide and a different set of local interviews, but
Oh yeah, I got all the Roanoke stuff there and everything coming out of Winston. So.
Yeah, boy. WRAL would have been a hell of a pull. I used to sit in the car at night and try to tune the radio and see which AM stations I could get the most far off from. I'd listen to WCBS in New York a lot of times. I think the farthest one ever out I got was Kansas City, maybe, or Chicago, one of those two.
See, the thing about my mother and grandmother were big radio people, so they had those radios that could pull from big cities and stuff. What are they called? Matt,
shortwave.
Shortwaves, yeah.
And so it was like, God damn, Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry.
Boy, Reagan, you used the Lord's name in vain twice in 5 seconds. That's got to be a new show record.
We had a candle.
We had a candle fall out of I guess they saw the blasphemy getting ready to come. Like, we have a closet and just a candle just fell out of it and clanged.
It wasn't lit, was it? It wasn't lit.
No, it was in my storage closet.
Oh,
jeez,
I hope it wasn't a Yankee jar candle. There's $28 down the drain.
It was not Yankee, but it's probably Bed Bath and Beyond. Not Bed Bath and Beyond. Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, I've had moderate luck with Bath and Body Works candles. I got one time that burned unevenly. It was a double wick job, and it burned unevenly, and one of the wicks got drowned in the wax, and the candle just burned down one side. I got so aggravated with it, I wanted to shoot it. I mean,
if you had Mad Mac complaining about a Bath and Body candle, please hit your bingo card.
Drink now.
Oh my God.
Let me sell some wrestling here. We got a show coming up on August 10th, TV taping, last one before we do Deal with the Steel. And we do not have any match announcements for you yet, but we do have the poster for you to take a gander at. And here we go. Slideshow. Let me get
this will be Kevin Phoenix's return after being in England this summer.
Yep, there it is. There's the poster. And I see a couple of are these new guys right here that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember their names, which is terrible, but
well, no, I mean, if it's their first time here, how would we remember their names? We never met them. We've got nothing,
that's true.
No frame of reference to remember or forget. All the big stars going to be there. You see Joe Harrison, Mickey Fulp, Justin Flash, Mason Matthews, which if Mason's there, Seth will be there, and that means his whole gang of cronies will probably be there. Kevin Phoenix returning from not only Power Slap, but Descent of the Righteous Gemstones, as I understand. So we'll be looking forward for. That means that show's in post-production now, so it only should be a few months till they get everything chopped up and put together.
I'm
and
so
ready.
glad I caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, there is somebody who is missing from these posters, Ty Tyson.
Well, yeah.
Ty Tyson has been suspended. Him and Lewis Moore.
Yep.
Lewis Moore actually accidentally got added to the poster, and reminded. Remember, he's suspended. He will not be there. It's like, oh yeah.
Oops, so yeah, they're both suspended until deal with the steel. So
this is not this weekend, wrestling fans. It's next weekend. So not the first weekend of August, but the second weekend of August. Day after my birthday. So if you want to give me a birthday present this year, come to this show, buy a ticket. That's what you could give me. Don't donate to charity. Don't do none of that. Come to wrestling. I shouldn't tell people.
Donate to your local indie worker charity.
Yeah, it's a good charity to donate to, because believe me, ain't no money in indie wrestling. That's for sure. But it's like, like Junior Johnson used to say, the best way to take a big fortune and turn it into a small fortune is to buy a race car and go to the track. Same thing works with wrestling. So, but anyway, come on out and see it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be there. Tease Treats will be there. All kinds of good times to be had by all in Mount Airy coming up very, very soon. So,
did you see Tease Treats' newest snack?
No, I did not.
It was a corn dog with cheese and chili on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. Chili cheese corn dog.
Chili cheese corn dog. That sounds messy. You probably need to give you a spoon to go along with that, because you don't want to let none of that chili go to waste. I know where she gets the chili. I know where it's at, and I will never tell.
Can we get the chili and cheese inside the corn dog breading? That would be awesome.
Well, you can get if you go to the K stop or the Korean place, you can get it with cheese and the mozzarella stick in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can feel my arteries hardening as we speak. Yep. But man, yeah, that does sound good. Chili cheese corn dog, and believe me, mouth is watering just thinking about it. The chili they sell on that food truck, oh my God, I'll never reveal the source of that homemade chili because I love it so much. It is just so good, and it's sweet. And you're thinking sweet hot dog chili. Ew. No, it's not sweet like candy or Frosted Flakes. It's like
brown sugar sweet.
Yeah, if that. It's just got a hint of something sweet about it, and it's like, I think it's ketchup. But so
it's made with love, Matt Carter. It's made with love.
That's why it's so sweet. It's made with love. Let me read our first set of spots here, because we don't want to make any of our loyal sponsors angry. And we'll show some pictures with them too. Premier Auto Detailing, you're muffled. I don't know if I'd call it muted, but I heard it muffled. So Premier Auto Detailing, hands down the best car cleaning service in town. They operate in the Mount Airy, Surry County area. If you need that old jalopy cleaned up, if it's been out there under a tree for 20 years, they can clean that. Or if you just don't want to feel like washing your car, they can do that. They can also do commercial jobs, fleet service, all that kind of stuff. It's Premier Auto Detailing, 336-736-2638. That's 336-736-2638. And give them a call. And just as a larf, if you want to right now, just to mess with them. If you're seeing this show right now, wherever it is, be it on YouTube, live on Facebook, I want everybody to grab their cell phone and start nonstop calling that number right now as furiously as you can for the next 30 minutes. 336-736-2638. I want to use the power of the internet to mess with somebody. 336-736-2638. You don't have to talk to the guy. If he answers, just hang up on him and call again, and do it furiously. I'm talking about 50 notifications in less than 5 minutes. That's what we're aiming to do here. See how fast we can run down his phone battery, just for fun. 336-736-2638. Oh my God. If y'all participate in this and it goes over like I want it to, it's going to be a hilarious prank. Because we really like the guy that is involved with that place. And T's Creations, here's somebody you don't want to crank call, or you will get cussed out. T's Creations, custom apparel. They got everything from t-shirts, hats, shirts, hoodies, They got it all. I mean, all over the internet too, at the website teescreations22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook, TikTok, Tees Creations, and Shopify. All those places, all over the internet. They're very active on TikTok. Trista's telling me, she's like, man, I hope the government don't shut down TikTok. I get so much action from that website. Oh my God. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, but enjoy it while it lasts. teescreations22.com and and all those other places. Check them out. And they're also the official vendor of AIWF Mid Atlantic for merchandise. So any of the boys, if you're out there watching this show and you want to make a deal with Tees Treats to make your gear, make your merch, so you don't have to send off to a company in Chicago or somewhere across the pond, in Uzbekistan or something to make your t-shirts. You can get them done locally here. It'll save you a lot of money. And I'm sure they probably won't take even as big a cut as, some of these other places. So, it's better to keep all that kind of stuff at home and close to your hip if you can. And so, but check them out. teescreations22.com and all those other places. We're putting a headlock on high advertising prices. Let me tell you what, son, $10 a month. Get you 4 reads. If we take a week off, doesn't matter because you're getting 4 reads for $10. $10 a month for just like what you just heard here. And, oh boy, I mean, you can't find me a better deal for advertising in wrestling, indie wrestling, damn sure not on TV wrestling. It just doesn't exist. Prices are there for you. If you want to reach out to us, you can hit us up at the Instagram account, AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling. Send us a message, AIWF20@hotmail.com, or just come see one of us at a live event. We'll be glad to get you in touch with people that you need to talk to about advertising. All right. So come check us out. We'd love to advertise your small business or your side hustle or whatever right here. And it's dirt cheap, $10 a month. Our last sponsor paid for a full year in advance. So very affordable. Very affordable. And you figure $10 a month times 12, that's $120 a year. I mean, really? You're not even going to get like nothing for $120 for no kind of advertising, maybe per week on a website, maybe, but we're definitely the cheapest. So, all right. We kind of talked about a lot of stuff in the first segment.
Yep.
And
yeah, we were all over the place.
Yep.
I didn't watch any other wrestling because of the Olympics. So
yeah. I mean, the Olympics is throwing me off too. I didn't even remember like paying that much attention when the Olympics were in Tokyo, and I think because nobody was there. Remember, 2020 was the pandemic, and then they brought it back in 21. But Japan was having trouble keeping their handle on the pandemic, and they didn't want a bunch of foreigners coming into the country from all over the world. I can't imagine why, and making it worse. So they did the Olympics in front of a bunch of empty stadiums, and I just don't think I was interested.
I have always watched Summer Olympics. I love all Olympics. And I usually always watch. And it's really good because in previous years, it seems like it started closer to the end of August, or I was going back to work already. Mm-hmm. So I was excited to see that the 16 days are going to be before I have to go back to the grind. So.
Well, it's probably had something to do with the weather in South France, or not South France, wherever the fuck Paris is. It's not in the South. France is a weird country because I used to work with a lady from France, and she kind of explained to me most of the climate in France in the northern part of the country is very temperate, warm, humid, rains from time to time, comfortable temperatures are hot. But the weird thing about France is the mountains, the Alps, are in the southern part of the country. So in France, as you go further south, the colder it gets, which is against all the natural, the natural way you think of things. So, I always thought that was a pretty cool, fun fact about the French. And I've always been trained throughout my life and always heard that the French are a bunch of assholes. And, although we share democracy, we're really not friends with them and all that kind of stuff. And they're stuck up and all this kind of stuff. But my mind's starting to change on that. The first thing that happened was when WWE was there a few months ago for their pay-per-view, and they had a really raucous crowd. But this year at the Olympics, like, I see like the French people, man, I thought it was just wrestling because they didn't get it that much. They were just going nuts. But during the rugby matches, during the gymnastics, of course, during the swimming pool, the people are, and I know there's people from all over the world there, but let's face it, most of the people in those stands are from France, and they're raucous, they're cheering, and their commentators keep talking about what a sports loving nation France is. And I didn't believe it when he first said it. But over these first few days of the Olympics, my mind is getting convinced that these people are sports nuts. They're into it like we are in the sports here. Like, their rugby crowd was rabid, man. There was 100,000 people in that stadium.
Man,
if you're that into sports, you can't be bad.
No, you cannot be. I mean, we may have completely different cultures, and like in the U.S., man, people define themselves by how much money they make and how hard they bust their ass and work, but like in France, it seems like the main thing they're concerned with is eating good, drinking good, and pursuing a life of leisure, whether that be art or sex with multiple partners, as we saw in the opening ceremonies, which disturbed me to no end.
It was explained as stereotypes of France, which are not true. That's how they framed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that whole part was like a comedy of errors, I guess, kind of thing, where it's like these are all the stereotypes of people's French beliefs that are not true.
A parody, if you will.
A parody, if you will. So when I go to France, I don't have to worry about just people fucking in the middle of the streets. Like,
you're not going to have to worry about two dudes coming to you and being like, menage a trois?
You go to certain parts of Greensboro, you can see that.
Oh, brother. Hey, Charlotte is right there, buddy. And what Seth Burns said about after midnight in Charlotte is not inaccurate. So
I don't know that after midnight in Wentworth, it's not accurate.
Yeah.
I'm within spitting distance of Asheville, so we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, boy. I'll tell you what, it's more than those crystals in the stores that people are meditating on them that's gotten a hold of Asheville. But there's several kinds of crystals people like up there. But that was a meth joke. If you didn't,
for those who didn't know,
but that's everywhere. But no, I've gotten kind of so I'm glad that was a parody of things that are not true about France, because I've heard from people that have been there. Like it's galley. I don't know if Brian and Reagan, were you coming around when Chris and Jen were coming to the shows with me back in the mid to late 2000s? I want to say around 08, 09.
No, that's when we had our children.
You remember them, Steve?
Yeah.
Like Jen with the long hair and all the tattoos.
Yeah.
Really nice people. But Jen went to France as an exchange student when she was in high school. And she was telling me about like the Louvre, going to the Louvre and all that kind of stuff, and just giving me like travel tips. Like if you go into the Louvre, make sure you take all day so you don't have to rush because there's a lot to see. Don't get mad if you can't get close to the Mona Lisa, because that's what everybody wants to go see, and it's really small and it's really hard to get a good look at it. And she's like, basically, like, look at a picture of the Mona Lisa online before you go to the Louvre and then just skip it so you won't be disappointed, because everybody crowds around that thing because it's the most famous piece of art they got in there. And she was like, but it's stupid. She's like, some of the stuff inside the Louvre is way better than the Mona Lisa. And she's like, they got so much cool stuff in there. She's like, take all day for that. She's like, you need to go to the Cathedral of Notre Dame. She said that her hotel was right across the street from it. And so she got to look at it every day and hear the chimes and all that kind of stuff. And they rang the chimes at the cathedral for the first time since the fire during the opening ceremony of the Olympics.
That's what I was going to get ready to say. Yeah.
So that was nice. And I'm glad they rebuilt that thing, man. You don't want ancient structures like that just being allowed to fall down and go away.
That's why I don't like Godzilla movies. That's one of the issues I have with Godzilla movies. It's all the ancient world that gets destroyed while him and King Kong fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fiction though. The Cathedral of Notre Dame really burned down. I mean,
I'm just saying Hannibal Lecter. So.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Quasimodo got his house back, so we're all happy now.
What was his famous line?
Over for dinner. Are you going to have a friend?
She gave me water.
Oh Lord! But I'm just saying, yeah, it's nice to see that it was, because I remember watching it burn down. You know, so that was.
Did you ever figure out what started that fire?
Was it
Darby Allin?
Lightning?
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin.
Hey, the Catholic churches usually in big cities are very open and will let anybody come in there, but they might have even said "whoa" in Paris to Darby Allin if he came walking up the steps. Oh no!
At least pat him down.
Oh no! It says
everybody, please enjoy your trip, not you.
It says an electrical malfunction or poorly extinguished cigarette.
I'll smoke with that.
Yeah.
I mean, of all the places I wouldn't think it would be cool to light up would be inside the Cathedral of Notre Dame.
Funny? It's like
not any church, as a matter of fact. Yeah. You know, go outside.
Yeah, I know French people smoke a lot, but I don't know. I was telling this is off the subject, but not really. I was explaining to my children that when I worked at Walmart, like people would smoke, like people smoked in the Walmart while I worked there.
In the snack bar, right?
No, I worked in the jewelry department, and they just come up. Yeah,
it's Walmart.
Yeah, but because I just thought it was, but this was like 97, 96.
Oh, it was perfectly fine then.
I know, but it blew my children's mind. It was starting
to go away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, shit, I remember when people would go, when my mom and dad would take me to the DMV with them on Saturday mornings, and it was before Virginia passed that law that you couldn't smoke in line, and the place would just be thick with cigarette smoke, you know, and it was just like, I remember it being like almost fog. Me as a little kid looking up and thinking, wow, man, it looks like fog in here, you know.
Hell, they should serve you drinks in the DMV.
Yeah.
Oh no, that causes there people are already rowdy in the DMV.
Yeah, people are already angry enough in the DMV, and well, last time I was there, we were there getting our real IDs, you know, so we can go on to nuclear facilities, because that's something Jinky and I like to do on the weekends, visit the nuclear plant and say hey to all the boys and girls. But we were in there getting them, and like people were sitting there and they were getting mad because the employees were going to breaks and lunches. I'm like, what do you expect them to do? Sit here for 9 hours straight and not have a break and just wait on you? Like, no, that's not how it works. You know, let them go to lunch. Take it easy. Get here early.
That's probably one of the worst jobs. Like public service. Like my job is bad, but can you imagine that? That would be hell.
I had
they don't pay enough. No.
I had a guy down in Charlotte was telling me about like one time. He was giving a driving exam to some, don't take this the wrong way, people, but I'm going to just say it like he said it. One of these foreigners, and man, she just pulled out in the middle of the damn intersection and stopped at a red light. And so, of course, we got T-boned, you know, and I was like, he said, I was lucky. I guess I just sprained my wrist and ankle. And I was like, well, what else happened like that? And he was like, that woman I just took out before you got up here, her car died in the middle of the intersection, and she didn't even know how to turn it back on. She was just sitting there mashing the gas pedal, hoping it'd start up. And I was like, life in a big city, you know. And I noticed that if you go to the DMVs down in Charlotte, you do see a lot of foreign, non-English speaking motherfuckers going there. And I do not envy those people that work at those DMVs down there. That's not much better up here, but. And I'm not talking down about people that don't speak English as a first language. I'm just saying,
just a communication issue.
Well, it makes the job a lot harder.
It's hard for us country ass people to understand that, you know, especially if you're being bombarded with 10 different languages every day. And, you know, I mean, you grew up watching wrestling on Channel 3 at 12 o'clock at noon, and somebody's spilling at you with an Indian accent at 100 miles an hour. You're not going to be able to process.
last thing I need to hear is somebody working in the DMV trying to talk Indian back in a Southwest Virginia accent.
Now that would be hilarious. I would buy a ticket to see that. But what I love is there's people down here that have Southern accents that can flip to Spanish and perfectly enunciate. But as soon as they go to English, twanging again. I don't even know if you could speak Spanish and twang. That'd be interesting. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know.
I think you can. Some of the mariachi music I've listened to, I think you can.
Yeah, you might be able to. I don't know. If you know whether you can twang a Spanish accent, put it in the comments. Any of you Spanish speakers out there, I know there's some out there.
I think my friend who is fluent in both has a little bit of a twang with hers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. She's been speaking it though for well over 25 years though, so I would imagine her twang has worked its way in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a native language at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway. Lord have mercy, we've been around the world.
DMV and foreign speakers.
See, I come back and we stay off the rails.
I've been watching. Yeah, I'm into Nitro where they're doing the race car, the NASCAR gimmicks, the NWO car and the Slim Jim car, and it makes me sad because I was such an NWO fan, and rewatching it, I'm just like, oh my god!
Stop doing that to yourself, Reagan. Don't watch shit that makes you sad.
I know, but I watched the first. It was a Nitro where everybody was in Japan, so they did New World Order Nitro, and all it was them jobbing out, like, I don't know, like they jobbed out the guy, the Renegade, they jobbed out High Voltage, and they jobbed out they jobbed out Hacksaw, which I did enjoy, and
Greg Valentine.
And so it was terrible, and it just hurts my soul.
Yeah, I don't watch Old Yeller all the time. I watch it like once every 10 years because it's a great movie. It's a coming of age story. If you look at it as it's so sad the boy had to shoot the dog. Yeah, it's sad, but I tell you what, if you watch it from the perspective as like, boy, I tell you what, he went from a little kid to a man in a short amount of time while his dad was gone, and shooting that dog was the hardest thing he had to do. But he became a man in that moment. Huh?
Was the dog rabid?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a tough watch. I mean, not only did he become a man, he also showed love for the animal.
Right. Yeah. Showing compassion.
Now I'm going to cry. Oh my God.
Reagan watches Nitro. I put on the never ending story when the horse dies in the swamp over and over.
That's so awesome. Again. That's funny though, man. I'm sorry. You know why it's funny to me? Because I saw it on the Righteous Gemstones.
It's never ending story.
Yeah, it's
never ending. I thought it was the one with Tom Cruise.
No.
It's Legend.
No, not Legend. No.
Legend, the horse dies though, doesn't it? In the mud? Is there two horse dying in the mud?
Yeah. Atreyu and Ortex.
See, I had not seen
Swamps of Sadness.
I never saw the Never Ending Story when it came out, but I was watching the Righteous Gemstones when they were watching it, and I saw that scene, and they were giggling at it. So the first time I saw it, it was presented as comedy, and so now if I go and look up the scene, I'm like, because that was my first exposure to it. Is placed in if I'd have watched it as a little kid, it would have traumatized me.
Oh God!
I won't say traumatized, but yeah, it's permanently embedded in my brain.
Yeah, it's tough watch. It's like, did you ever watch Yellowstone? Have you ever seen that? Yeah. Like what the line Rip has. I'd sooner kill 1,000 men than have to shoot one more goddamn horse, and you just like, I totally feel you, man, because the animal, I mean, an animal can't, just can't help it. Like if they fall and they break their leg, they're not mean like people are. They're naturally cool. If you treat them good, especially horses, if you treat them good, they'll work themselves to death for you.
Well, we know what Terry Funk thinks about shooting donkeys, so. are jackasses.
Yeah, that was funny. And for him to actually grow up on a farm and say something that callous toward animals, that's healing, buddy. You know, man, our ranch. I'm sorry. Did Dory Senior have a real ranch? Did they have like real cattle and stuff like that down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And Terry, I can't remember if it was Terry. No, it was Dory. Didn't show up to defend the NWA title because horse broke leg.
Yeah, it was one of them. Yeah. And
Dory, it was against the Briscoes.
He's going to wrestle in Japan at 83 years old here in a few weeks.
I saw that.
Yeah, I wish he wouldn't do that.
They want a wrestler this thing, don't they? Like,
well, I mean, if you ever watched an old Dory match, it's going to be the same pace it was when he was younger. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I don't know.
Here, let me read some ads. I'll let
oh yeah. Oh, the mighty, it's already 7:00.
This is branch management, landscape, and service in Mount Airy. They still hanging baskets, but I think they done sold them all. I need to take those slides out. But they do pressure washing, basic work around the home, general contracting, gutter cleaning, and the best part is they offer free estimates. 336-648-2487. 336-648-2487. That's branch management. And reach out to them if you don't feel like cutting the grass, and they will help you out. And they can do all kinds of other stuff around them. They'll knock down a couple of bees' nests for you if you need them to. Not like honeybees and bumblebees, not pollinators, but like yellow jackets and stuff like that. I think it might be illegal in North Carolina to wipe out a honeybee nest without the proper permits. I don't know. T's Treats is our most delicious sponsor, a locally owned food truck based in Mount Airy. They do concessions at the wrestling and all over the place. You can call 336-755-8204 for their availability where they'll be. Delicious dogs, Benny donuts, man, they got it all. And of course now they got the chili cheese corn dogs that Reagan was talking about earlier, and they just sound plumb delicious. So please check them out. They are a local food truck based in I almost said based in Bananas because I was looking at the picture. Based in Mount Airy. And they do have those frozen bananas. Tim Stone loves those frozen bananas. I saw him eating one last show. And he was giving that thing hell too, buddy. Anyway, I should have thought about that before I said it. Okay. Anyway, T's Treats, all kinds of delicious stuff here. And yeah. And shit. Secondhand
reads over.
But no, it ain't. Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a gaming store that also features collectible toys, retro gaming console to games, as well as free-to-play arcade cabinets and comic books featuring Magic the Gathering, casual play, as well as tournaments. That is a run-on sentence. I'm going to have to go in there and put some punctuation in there. They also host Dungeons and Dragons campaigns several times a week. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia, outside Lynchburg. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Look at that place. We got the table space for Magic the Gathering, D&D, any of that stuff. We got the console games like Nintendo and old Sega or Famicom if you grew up in a different part of the world. Sega Classics, 25 arcade cabinets with hundreds of your old school favorites all set to free play. Thank God, because there's a Dragon's Lair machine in there, and that thing was known as a quarter eater back in the day. Monday Night D&D group has been running over a year, and they welcome newcomers, both experienced and inexperienced. They also host video game competitions for games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, just to name a few. Something for the gamer and collector in us all. Call to make arrangements for your game night at 434-317-0121 or shoot us an email with any questions to secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Now that's second, you've got to spell it like this. The number 2, the letter N, letter D. Secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Inventory changes daily, so visit them often. Make sure you come see them early and often. Come game with us secondhand heroes, and we absolutely love there on this show. It looks like you can have a lot of fun in that place. And so anyway, there we go. So yeah. I didn't watch SmackDown this week. I watched Raw. I saw Dominic break up with Liv Morgan, although he's made it sound like they weren't together. But now I'm confused because he made Liv cry. And usually heels don't cry. He made her cry and run away. And so is this going to be hell hath no fury than a woman scorned? Or is she switching to the good side of the light and Rhea and Dominic remain heels because Rhea is still very popular? They will pop for her when she comes out for her title shot at SummerSlam on Saturday.
Fully expecting Dominic to go with Liv.
I was expecting that too. Oh, you think he'll turn on her at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good twist, and that'd be a good way to keep the title on Liv, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Dominic.
I don't know. I don't know how we're talking about this. I've read some inside stuff, but
I told you not to trust those websites, Reagan. They're
a
bunch of asshole bullshit con artists. Not us though. We have integrity.
Yeah, we do have integrity, but I think she's very popular, Liv Morgan, and I think sometimes when you have heels that are that popular, it's hard to keep them heel. You know, just like if
is she popular or are her shorts popular?
Yeah, her shorts are certainly. Yeah, there's somebody in wardrobe that has got magic fingers. That's all I'll say. Because I'm like good God, because like I had for years, y'all know I've told this story before, how I used to, when I first got on Twitter, would tweet Big E Langston and tell him that he needs to wear longer cut trunks because his balls are gonna fall out and stuff like that.
You ain't saying that shit to Liv, are you?
Huh? Well, I mean,
ain't saying that shit to Liv, are you?
Well, I don't think she's got balls that would fall out, so it's not.
They're just higher up. They're just higher up.
Can't hold her to the same standard, but she's never had a wardrobe malfunction. So
damn it.
I will say this about the people that do costumes in WWE, do the gear. They make sure that stuff form fits, that they can perform in it, and no matter how scant it is, stays in place.
Except for that Jay Cargill first few outfits, they did not stay.
Well, they were still getting to know each other, you know. I mean,
yeah.
You know,
didn't realize how much double-sided tape they needed.
Yep, you know, that's all right.
Because Jay Uso now has a thing for Rhea, right?
Yeah, he's trying to hit on her, but I think he's just doing that to, like, you know, drive dissension in the Judgment Day because they've given him so much trouble.
Did you hear what Rikishi said though?
Oh yeah,
Rikishi's not happy.
Trying to break up his marriage.
Trying to break up his real marriage.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well,
so
I didn't even know Jay was married now. Congratulations to him. I knew his brother was married, but I didn't even know he was married. So I mean, yeah, Rikishi
had that.
I mean, it's just, but
I understand Rikishi because I believe in the sanctity of marriage. I get where he's coming from, but
don't shit all over the gimmick because of that. I mean,
well, he was on his own podcast, and the guy asked him about it, so he gave his opinion. It wasn't like he was just going down the street going, "Hey, my boy's in a bad gimmick. It might hurt his marriage." I mean, he was asked directly about it. So,
I think that as long as they don't pull a Kevin Sullivan and make them like hang out all the time and travel together and go out to eat together, as long as they don't do that, I think they'll be fine. As long as they keep it at the events, I don't think that they're going to have to worry about it affecting their real lives.
I mean, Rhea and Dom are fine, and Dom just got married. Rhea was at the wedding.
Yeah, and Rhea's been married. Rhea's married.
I know,
now.
and
this is just this part of the it's part of the story.
Which I would like to see the wrestlers return to not doing their personal lives on social media. Like, or if I'm posting as Rhea Ripley, I'm not posting anything that's outside wrestling storyline. I might have my own separate, whatever my real name is, social media over here.
Yeah.
But I ain't letting wrestling fans on that one. That's just for friends and family. You know what I mean?
Nia Jax has been doing that recently, where she's been putting up a lot of TikToks of her with other people, which I like to see, but I don't want to see that under the Nia Jax. However, did you see the Drew McIntyre, Jack Perry tweet?
Loved it.
It was so good, and he took it down so fast, but it was perfectly done. Oh my God!
What did it say? I mean, I've seen parodies. There was just a picture of them standing together, right?
Yeah, just them like, doing the wrestler, thing and stuff. So it really
Oh no, it the only tag to it was Cry Me a River.
Okay. Oh, okay. But yeah, so it was so good. And I saw Nick Namath. Is it Nick? Yeah, talking about it and like how it was really good, because when you take it down that quick, even if it wasn't because he was told to take it down, it makes it look like he was, which makes it look like it's real heat, which makes it
just gets more people talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought it was hilarious.
And that's the idea on the internet, clickbait. Man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what, like, and guys, keeping with all truth, and I say we have, we try to maintain integrity on this show. I'll be honest with you. A lot of times, man, I have to really think about what the thumbnail is going to look like on a YouTube video if it's going to draw eyeballs, because and YouTube tells you that once you become a partner, or even before you become a partner, they are lecturing you constantly every time you post a video about how critical the thumbnail is. And it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think Clara and Nurse Micah 2 years ago got almost 250,000 views because people knew who Clara and Nurse Micah were in India? No, it was the thumbnail with Clara with a side headlock and Nurse Micah on her belly. And you can imagine what was in the center of the picture. And she was wearing hot pink gear. I mean, it drew eyes,
Within 5 seconds, I will know if I'm going to watch a video, not by the title, but by the thumbnail.
Yep. And so that's why people are using AI to generate, fake thumbnails now, which I will never do. Number one, because I don't know how. And number two, because it would insult the intelligence of our fans, because you can tell the AI ones as soon as you see them. And I can tell you this personally.
Some people can't. I see so many AI made stuff that people have no idea are AI that I don't know about that.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, Reagan, because people sent around that picture of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi for fucking years, saying, if you love the Lord, share this picture,
Yes.
And they did it with Seth Rollins too. Remember? That's why he started doing that. He started
Monday Night Savior.
Yeah, the Monday Night Savior gimmick. That's why he started doing it. And it's like, so I believe you, Reagan, but I can spot him a mile away. And
I can too.
If I see an AI generated thumbnail, I do not click on it just out of principle, even if it's titled as something I'm interested in seeing. I will not do it. So, but anyway,
it's just how the internet is. It's just like the people who put a really heavily filtered picture on their dating profile. It's you don't want to. They're going to meet you in person eventually if everything works out, and then they're just going to be disappointed. You don't want to do that. you don't want to show them that they're not really going to be getting.
Or they're standing way off in the distance behind a truck and waving.
The funniest instance of that is in 90 Day Fiance. So there was this older woman. She wasn't even bad looking. No. Like, she looked good, but she did one of those filters, and she had like a young guy in I don't know, Egypt or a country, Morocco, one of those northern African countries that are predominantly Muslim. And so he comes to the oh god, the TV. Sorry. So they come to the airport. and he's wearing a shirt with that picture that's behind. I can't get my TV turned off. Of that filtered picture on her shirt, on his shirt, to meet her, and then she looks about 10 years older. But if she had just shown her, she looked good. But yeah, so.
Brian brought that up, and I swear, like I picture the meetup, and then there's the video clip of Dave Chappelle. Get your bitch.
Oh me.
Oh Lord. Remember the movie Friday, the original one? She said she looked like Janet Jackson, looked more like Freddie Jackson. Oh Lord, yeah, those dating sites, I've always avoided that because that always seemed like trouble. Even when I was at my most single and most lonely, I did not stoop to dating sites because that just seemed like big trouble, you know. And I mean, now I'm sure they're better now.
Back in those days, if I wanted a dating site, there was a bar in town.
Yeah. We called it the Dutch Inn.
I just started going to wrestling. And so.
Oh boy. Yeah, the Dutch Inn's not like what it used to be. It's like a casino in there now. They got legalized betting there and sports book and slot machines and stuff. There's no card tables.
It's like a weird shape.
It's got a windmill on the front.
That's right. I knew there was something that was about it that was strange.
Well, they recently opened up the restaurant back up in there, and that's something a lot of people missed because you could get a good meal with real good quality food for a fair price back in the day until it burned. And then when they rebuilt it, they just, I don't know, the pandemic shut down the restaurant and they never opened it back up until just recently. And what was funny is one time we were going to visit my parents, and for some reason they didn't want us staying at the house. I don't know why. I think they might have been doing some work or something. And Mom told us we needed to get a hotel, and Jinky's like, well, she wanted to stay at the Dutch Inn because she had heard the legend from me. And I was like, I don't know, Jinky, it's kind of run down. It's not what it was. Oh no, we'll be fine. I was like, Jinky, we're gonna have to sleep with our socks on. You know, I mean, that's like it's kind of run down. And so we went in there and the room looked relatively clean, but when she threw the sheet back and saw the cigarette burn on the blanket, she was just kind of like, yeah, maybe it was a mistake staying here. And I was like, well, we've already paid them for it. I'm gonna get some damn sleep. We ended up, but yeah, we won't make that mistake again. It's not the high class motor hotel it was when it was built in the 50s. So it's gone downhill like Martinsville itself. So
stayed in plenty of those after shows on the ride home.
Yeah, I don't know. We pulled over a truck rest stop one time and slept in the car. I've done that before.
Done that one too. Done that one at the base of Fancy Gap Mountain many a time.
And a smart move to do too, because you don't want to tackle that mountain not with all your facilities either going up or going down. Yeah, my wife. Anytime we go to like up to West Virginia or Ohio, is one thing she always looks at me and goes, "Do we have to cross Fancy Gap Mountain?" Yep. There's no 77. Don't go up, no other way, honey.
Brother, if I'm coming down to see you guys, I will take 52 from Hillsville every time.
Really?
I will not take 77 down that mountain. I won't.
Is 52 better though? I hadn't drove it in so long. I don't remember.
The fog isn't as bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about the transfer, the trucks.
Yeah, it's a lot of it seems like there's a lot of switchbacks, but it's not as
right.
You know, not as many cars.
Yeah, it was a handful of years ago. When I was still living in Mount Airy, I was coming back from Westville seeing my dad, and I missed 100-car pileup on that mountain by about 3 minutes.
Really? Because of fog?
Coming down the yep. And I'm like, never touched it again. I'm like, nope, I'll 52 it every time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't hardly blame you after something like that. I mean, you know, last time I came down and it wasn't foggy, it was a perfect sunny day, and I was still in second gear, just letting it ease down.
When we went to West Virginia to a skating rink show with Jeff Paul's organization.
Oh yeah, I've been up there.
We rode with Rick, and it was me, him, all the children, Trista, Ty, Kevin Phoenix, and we just kept screaming at Rick, just put your hands on the wheel and just look, don't look around, just look at the road, And it was raining, and there's all that fog, and you know how he is. He's like, you see him on the podcast too. He's like all over the place. Imagine that driving up that. It was terrible.
No, when the couple of times we went up to Weirton, West Virginia, we made him sit in the back, and he slept. There were 3 people that drove on those trips: AC, me, and Jody Rushbrook.
But I also remember going up
Rick wasn't driving.
Bus. We went up that same spot in that old bus that carried the ring.
What when you went up there recently to Jeff Paul show, what kind of vehicle were you guys in?
We were in Trista's big red Chevy. Is that what hers is?
Subaru, I believe.
Oh, whatever her big SUV thing is.
Oh my God.
So we were all plowed in there.
And Rick Diesel was driving.
Yeah, because we thought
did he drive on the way
idea.
back too? Did he drive the way back?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah. Because the one thing is, was he eating something? Is that was one of the issues? That he was eating a donut or something?
No, he's eating that god awful gas station burger that's in the cellophane. It's like, oh,
that was coming down the mountain.
Yeah.
So,
it's like I was hungry, but I wasn't that hungry.
But see, usually you go when you get up there around Princeton, man. There's a lot of good places to stop. So I don't know.
We were just ready to go home.
Yeah,
like we had planned on stopping and eating, but it was so late. By the time we got done, we were just like, let's just get home.
We went up there in December for Clara's and Sis Sasaki's title match. When Clara won the AIWF World Heavyweight Women's Championship, I was telling Jinky, I was like, I don't want to go up there. If I can get the day off work, let me try to get the day off work. It was in December. And I took the next day off work, and because the show was on Sunday night. So I took the next day off work, and we got a room, stayed overnight because I had to. I'm sorry, if I'm in that Princeton, Bluefield, Beckley area and I'm there at breakfast time, I'm taking a trip to Tudor's. And so I was just like, you know what? Let's stay. Let's get a room. And Jinky's like the next morning, she's like, I'm hungry. I want to go downstairs and get something to eat. And I was like, I want to go to Tudor's. Like that. And she's like, I'm hungry now. Let's go get something. I was like, oh no, she's going to spoil my fucking appetite, and I'm not going to be able to go to Tudor's. Well, I was smart. I had like a banana and fruit cup and saved my tummy for Tudor's, and got out of town. I went down there and got 2 of them big old, I can't remember what they call the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit because they've all got weird names at Tudor's and named after West Virginia stuff. But I got 2 of those big cat head bastards and ate them on the way down 77, which was kind of dangerous, but
this was the weekend of
really eat anywhere on 77 in West Virginia, you know.
That was the weekend of the anniversary show. So there was the Friday show, the Saturday show, and the Sunday show that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, because of the fire.
Because of the fire and the wires.
Because of the fire.
Darby Allin.
Yeah, we need to see
what did Darby Allin do this time? Well, he burned down the Cathedral of Notre Dame and set fire to the Veterans Park in Mount Airy on 691 West Lebanon Street.
Yep.
I do like his coffin drop, though. Mm-hmm. I do like that.
Yeah, I like his work when he wrestles. He's entertaining. He's just a dummy.
And I'm going to say something blasphemous, but his Scorpion Death Drop is much better than Sting's.
Oh Lord, it's a good thing we're no more popular than we are, because that would set the internet on fire.
Hey, maybe somebody will get a clip of it, and it will set the internet on fire, and then we'll get internet famous.
Nope, not unless Rick Diesel puts it out, because I have to put a setting on YouTube. Do not allow people to clip this show just for fear of something like that happening.
They can do a screen record.
Yeah.
There is so much out of context that can be taken from this show.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And what I don't want to have happen is start getting into battles with YouTube where they demonetize videos for something that's a misunderstanding. You know, when I first started posting the backstage stuff, they didn't allow it. The stuff from the 90s that we had backstage with Ronnie and Chains and the family. When I first started posting that, they wouldn't let me post the videos, and I had to send like notes to the admins like, this is part of a wrestling angle / storyline, and had to explain inside the fucking ropes how the business worked, and then they let them air. You know, so somebody actually does read your notes, but if they get enough complaints, they'll just take it down and you'll be shit out of luck. So
I'm sorry if the Darby Allin better.
Oh no, at this point, Reagan, you're already yawning. I'm sure most of the audience is left by now. So
yeah, well, maybe it was my blasphemy. It just popped out.
Well, I mean, if one clip got out, I wouldn't mind if it got misconstrued, was us accusing Darby Allin of starting the fire at the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Boy, that got some traction, you know. Yeah.
Then you'd see AI videos of him crawling up the cathedral to the top and taking a cigarette.
Yeah, putting it in and just dropping it in the mouth of one of the
as long as the 5-star reviewer doesn't get a hold of it, it'll never gain traction.
Yeah.
I'm not saying his name. I refuse to say his name. I'm not.
I tell you what, it's a shame how that poor guy's just lost his mind and had to raise his prices on his subscribers because he's losing so many of them. We're not gonna say
no.
But it just kind of like, it makes me wonder when you hear, and I don't believe much of what Bruce Pritchard says, although he's a great storyteller and I love him for that. But it kind of makes you wonder, has that guy, the dirt sheets, just been him making shit up for all these years since the early 80s?
I would say at one point there was truth behind what he wrote.
Right.
And in the last 8 years, this will get a click. This will get a hit. You know, it's if I can get a click, it'll generate revenue, and here we go. And he's a better worker than most because people believe what he does.
Yeah. Unfortunately, so like the dominance of the U.S. swims team, the accuracy of the observer is not around anymore. So, and no offense to anybody on the swim team, but I mean, the days of Michael Phelps are long gone. They're still winning medals, but Australia's kicking our booties this year.
God almighty, and they are. And then there's sometimes I do enjoy watching U.S. get beat, but the Australians are telling us that we're obnoxious when they are so obnoxious. In terms of swimming, I'm not talking about the country itself. In terms of swimming,
those people trained by out swimming great whites. Come on now.
Yeah, I know, and there's a lot on the line. Yeah, now you heard Reagan. It was Reagan that said she pulls for the U.S. to lose sometimes. Not Matt, not Brian, not Stephen Hayes.
And it's Reagan mostly in basketball.
So direct your hate toward her. Yeah, I don't even care about the basketball anymore. They win so often.
That's the problem. It's because
the Russians started that. I mean, they all those other countries started sending professional athletes when we were still sending college kids, and now and they beat the brakes off of us. Okay, now we start sending pro athletes, and they've only been beat one time since 1996. So, our foreign enemies brought that problem on themselves.
I will firmly admit that come time for Olympic wrestling, the one thing I do cheer for on the Russian team is they have one member of the team that can pass a drug test.
They actually only have a delegation this year of they don't get to come on their own, and they only have 3 people or less than there's hardly any this year.
Yeah, and they're on the refugee team.
I think I saw a swimmer.
Yep.
But I haven't I don't think there's anybody in I don't think there's any in gymnastics. I don't think there's any. I don't know what
there's not. No, they're banned. Russia and Belarus are banned because of the war in Ukraine. The only athletes
doping.
Yeah. Well,
doping is what set it off.
And I'll give the kid with the Chinese swim team credit because they got in trouble with doping last time, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's how the Chinese win their medals, as they're all doped up too." And that kid did. He was like, "You know what? I'll tell you what. Not only will we will openly subject ourselves to every additional drug test. We're going to come back clean. We're going to win gold medals clean." And by God, they've done it so far.
Yeah, they had a Chinese swimmer today that came in a semifinal, like number one. So,
yep. So, hey, I don't want them to, I know China's supposed to be our enemy politically, and they do steal a lot of stuff from us, but they're people, they're human beings too. And if they're busting their ass and taking the Olympics seriously, like Team USA and Team Canada, who has turned it into a very lucrative business, but do it the right way. I mean, don't get a reputation like Russia, where every time you win a medal, everybody's like, I mean, yeah, I silvered, but I lost to a Russian, so I really got to go. I mean, this should really be gold. Everybody knows.
What the sad thing about that situation is, it's not those athletes making that decision. That decision was made for them. It wasn't made by them. It was made by the people who ran that country and ran their Olympic teams. So
yeah, I'm sure they had no choice in the matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand it less from China than other countries, and I'll tell you why. China is the oldest country on this planet, and it's not even close. Not even close. So what do you have to prove to anybody? The Russians are always trying to prove they're better than our democratic system of government. But what does China have to prove? 3,000 years, we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay. I mean,
just getting those W's.
Yeah.
I mean, but they don't have anything to prove to anybody except that they need, well, I mean, they still have to fight starvation there, but
we're getting way into political. We're getting too close to political stuff.
Everybody Google President Xi and read his backstory. It's very interesting. That's your homework, and we'll expect 1.5 pages written report on Monday.
All double spaced.
All double spaced. Don't even fuck around with the margins. Don't even get close. I'm telling you.
Oh Lord.
Front and back.
And 12 point times Roman.
Yep.
That's the only font you're allowed to use, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So see, me and Stephen Hayes are making jokes about, like when we had to actually handwrite it on paper, back in olden times.
Now I will give at least one person extra credit if they send it to me in wingdings.
Bonus points if you know what a slate is and are able to perform schoolwork on that. That's really taking it back. That
is taking it.
Yeah, way back. All right, so
Lord,
we've gone on about nothing for long enough. Let's get out of here. We'll be back next week, fans, to preview and hopefully have some match announcements for you in the week about what's coming down for August 10th. It should be very exciting. We hope you enjoyed the show. If any of you are left out there now, but we'll see you next week. And so for anybody got anything else they want to say before I close it out?
No.
For Brian and Reagan Danzig, for Stephen Hayes, I'm Mad Matt Carter. We'll see you next time. I fucked it all up. We'll see you next week, fans. And until next time, so long for now. Bye, everybody.